Hello, Evan here. Um, I'm gonna try to make this video short, and I think I stand a pretty good chance of doing that. This video is gonna be about emotional health, and and it and it intersects with my experience being my experience as an autistic person, and also and it kind of ties into music because I know you can see my synthesizer Berlin here. I've been making beats. But I'm not really here to talk about the beats so much as I am just to get a message out there. And the message is just it's difficult because hold on, y'all don't know what's difficult yet. Um, sometimes it helps to like acknowledge like when your mind has skipped a few steps and like the people around you haven't like caught up with what you said because they didn't hear what you heard in your head. But yeah, it's like I mentioned this in passing in one other video, but like I experienced a lot of dissociation, and under the umbrella of emotional health, it's a topic that I intend to make a lot more videos on because it's like the newest development in my emotional health journey, and so. But it's fascinating because almost unanimously dissociation comes as a result of really deep-seated trauma. And the more deep-seated the trauma is, whether it be emotional, whether it be physical, sexual, or whether it be any sort of, even a microaggression or a series of microaggressions just happening over and over again, that'll give you like what's called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a repeated thing that just keeps happening. Instead of one big traumatic event, like a bunch of small ones can still create the same effect. And in some cases, an even more nuanced effect. And yeah, it's funny because like I'm a very high masking autistic person. I imagine that perhaps like you might not have picked up on the fact that I was autistic unless you had I not told you like one and two unless you're like really keen and you know how autistic people tend to behave and operate, and just like the way that we think, the way we speak, different things like that, and sometimes how we lose our ability to speak, and how some of us, especially non-speaking, like each autistic person is different, and even though I don't like to use like umbrella statements in light of this, like I do sense that there is something that a lot of autistic people experience that I don't see enough people talking about, and it's the fact that the trauma of being autistic in a world that isn't built with autistic or otherwise differently wired people in mind. It causes a lot of trauma, and trauma, especially when it becomes severe enough, it can lead to like major dissociation, things like depersonalization, derealization, even DID, which used to stand for which used to be what used to be called multiple personality disorder, but now it's called dissociative identity disorder. It's a whole thing. But in my experience, tends to lean more towards the DID side of things. It's a bit more, I don't want to say severe, because like every person's like every person's like emotional health experience just sort of, it swallows every aspect to them, in the sense that like if someone's dealing with anxiety, it's not just anxiety to them. Like it's still just as painful as someone who's dealing with like bipolar and anxiety, or a psychotic disorder like schizophrenia or schizoaffective, or personality disorders, or or the more traumagenic disorders like dissociative identity disorder and other dissociative disorders like that. And the thing is that like, if you're wondering what sort of authority I have, like beyond experience, the thing is that like I feel as though there's a lot of gatekeeping on information as it pertains to the experience of a lot of people who deal with emotional health disorders of the more the more severe bent. And so it's really important for me to share the stuff that I know and the stuff that I see, especially in myself, but even other people too. If I can wrap my head around it enough to understand it, I really want to drive that home and really, I really want to drive that home and get it to where I understand it. I feel like the video might be getting a little too long. Either way, the primary message I wanted to get out here is that trauma that gives way is the trauma that gives rise to dissociation in the future for autistic people is something that is severely and widely underreported. And it's a real shame, because it's a pretty common like psychological defense mechanism to just like have your mind just sort of check out for a second. And so and I made this video because I have hopefully gotten out of the worst of a dissociative episode that I had just today. And it was super difficult, and I wanted to just get on here and say something about it, because I haven't said anything about like my experience with dissociation like before, like this in depth. And so yeah, either way, if you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. You don't have to have any thoughts about this. This is just a message per se. And so in this particular case, I think dialogue is sort of optional. It's like you don't have to respond if you don't want to. I'm not like necessarily expecting all that much. I'm only expecting it from the people who feel like they want to. So with that said, I love you. I think you're awesome. I'm so glad you exist among us. If you want to see any sort of other mental health videos or emotional health videos that I've made or that I ever will make, you can see a pop-up come up right here, and that's basically it. Yeah, I love you. I think you're awesome. I'm so glad you exist. And I'll see you soon. Bye.